I'm David Jones, crop nuts independent agronomist here at Timau. I'm going to give you a quick tour of our potato herbicide trials, which are very important for several reasons in potatoes. Firstly is yield. If you get weed competition, you compromise the output of the crop from the day it goes into the ground. Secondly, you don't want weed seeding in the crop because that is what leaves a legacy for the next crop. Thirdly, keep it clean, and if you're mechanically harvesting, it is an awful lot cleaner. But fourthly, getting herbicides right on these soils, we often find that the ridge starts off very dry, and that when you get little showers like we've had in this crop of Dutch robin behind me, a lot of the stolons form very close to the sides of the ridge. We're at almost tuber initiation now, and you find that if you get a heavy dose of herbicide washed in by the rain and you're using the wrong herbicides, not only will you not control the weeds properly, but you can actually end up controlling and damaging your crop. So let's have a look at what makes each herbicide strong and weak and where you can put them together in your potato program. So there are quite a range of weeds here in the untreated no herbicide. You've got the obligatory brome and volunteer barley, some chenopodum, cleavers, which will do awful damage at harvest, and some amaranthus, and a bit of volunteer canola. So there's quite a population, considering we've only had about 20 mil of in-crop rain over several 4 mil showers. If we come over to the 0.25 of Sencor metribuzin, that has not done a great deal. It's obviously very safe on this variety, but you have to be careful with the tolerances on many of the varieties you're growing, so check it's safe. Done a reasonable job, but not really suppressed the volunteer canola at all. If I go to half a kilo over here, that's done a much more thorough job, certainly on the amaranthus. It's knocked out a bit more of the volunteer canola, but on some varieties that just will not be safe. Coming here, this is half a kilo of Sencor with 1.6 litres of dual gold, and that has definitely improved the grass control. Bear in mind we can come back with Fusilade, but it has definitely helped on some of the volunteer canola as well, and a little bit on the fat hen, but there's definitely chenopodum album and murali left in there, so not covered everything. The next one, I've done 0.5 Sencor again, but I've added 0.6 of Tiara, so 240 grams of flufenicet. That has actually done a very good job on the cleavers. I didn't expect it to. If anything, in this trial it's actually worked better using flufenicet for cleavers than clomazone has, so that is a nice surprise. I've actually put clomazone in this one here. That's half a litre of clomazone, 2.5 litres of stomp, pendimethalin, and 2 litres of linuron. That's done quite a good job, but it's definitely left a few volunteer canolas and a few chenopodum muralum. And there's definitely a few cleavers left in there, not 100%, which surprises me, but it is high organic matter soil, so that tells us a lot about how clomazone behaves in those soils. Now, what happens if I drop out the linuron? Well, if I move across to the next one, I've got a little bit more bindweed in there. Linuron has not got a massive spectrum, but it does help with the clomazone, especially on things like bindweed. It does something on volunteer canola, which you can see it's really suppressed it a bit more here. So you've got the action of the stomp there. Second from last, I put clomazone in with dual gold. That's done quite a good job, actually. That's surprising. For black bindweed, that's done well. You can see some really small nightshade in there, and that hasn't quite done enough on that. It's done something on the cleavers, but again, clomazone just doesn't seem to be doing quite enough on these soils on its own. And lastly, there is a lot of grass here, but that's fine because I put 1.2 kilos, so a very high dose of Tiara flufenicet, so that's 480 grams. It has actually done quite a good job on the cleavers, on any nightshade, and on quite a bit of the volunteer canola. All the grasses we can take out with Fusilade or clethodim or Agil later on, so not worried about those. But from a broadleaf perspective, Tiara looks pretty useful in the program, and it's very safe. So in summary, make sure before you plant you understand the likely weed spectrum that you are going to be dealing with. Then you can look at the herbicides that are appropriate and make sure all the gaps in the armoury are covered, and if necessary a 2- or 3-way split. And good potatoes that are clean like this should be easy to grow, high yielding, profitable and easy to harvest.